morning everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be talking about the Instant Pot. I have 4 recipes. They are all family friendly. They're all very easy, nothing too crazy, so they're all pretty healthy as far as that part goes. I have a family of 7. I didn't have to add anything to the recipes to make it stretch to fit my family, and there actually on some of them there was a decent amount of leftovers too. So that is to keep in mind. They are slightly on the bigger side. If you're doing this for 2 people, you're going to have plenty of leftovers to put away. My Instant Pot is an 8-quart. All of these can be made in the 6-quart as well, except you will need a slightly smaller chicken than I used for the whole chicken recipe. We did a 5.5-pound chicken. You'd probably need about a 4-pound chicken for that one. But with that being said, this thing has become pretty much one of my new best friends in the kitchen because it helps a lot. Now, some of the recipes, it's a little more time consuming, but it does help. Like to make meatloaf and mashed potatoes the traditional way with the oven and the pot of boiling potatoes, you do have to kind of babysit that, and it takes a lot more work. You throw it in here, and in less than an hour, your entire dinner is done. So it does really help. These are very good recipes. My kids raved about all 4 of them. I really enjoyed the whole chicken. I was surprised that I would, and that was actually my favorite out of these. I hope you guys like them, and we'll get started. This first recipe was actually my favorite of all 4. To start, you're gonna make sure to clean everything out of your chicken, get it nice and dry inside and out so the skin will get crisp. Then you're gonna take your finger or a wooden spoon and you're gonna try and get in between the skin and the chicken breasts themselves on both sides. Then take a stick of melted butter, and then as far as the seasonings go, you can do what you really wanna do to flavoring. You could see the ones that I'm using. This is what the recipe called for. It was absolutely delicious, but again, season for how your family would eat it. Mix that up real well. Put a cup of chicken broth in the bottom of your Instant Pot. Put your trivet in, and then take the chicken and get that butter mixture underneath that skin really good. From here, just put the chicken onto the trivet, and then take the remaining butter mixture and pour it all over the top, covering every bit of it. Chicken just beeped for the 33 minutes. It needs a 15-minute pressure release. So when this says 15, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the whole thing off, even the keep warm, and turn it off and take the chicken out. But for a natural pressure release, pretty much all it means is if you're going to release the pressure, you're gonna turn that and you're gonna let all the pressure out immediately. For a natural pressure release, you don't touch it for the, wow, hi Jen. You don't touch it for the amount of time that it says, and then you go ahead and release whatever's left of the pressure. Wow, so much steam. Okay, so this was 33 minutes, 5.5 pounds, and it literally broke the spine and like it's falling off. So this might have been a little too much time for 5.5. And then all of this can be used to make a gravy. You just have to skim some of the fat off the top, and I'll show you how to do the gravy in here in a second. But this, from this point, I've got to give it off of the trivet and then onto this pan by itself so it can wow all of the steam. So it can go under the broiler for 4 to 5 minutes. For the gravy, turn your Instant Pot on the saute feature. Put 3 tablespoons of butter into the bottom, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just mix that around really good. Give it a second for the flour to cook out a little. Put the rest of your drippings in. Give it a good stir for a minute. It will thicken almost instantly, and there's your gravy. This next recipe, the best thing I can compare it to is like an upscaled Hamburger Helper. You're gonna want your pot on saute, make sure it comes up to hot. Put 2 tablespoons of olive oil and your pound of ground beef. Then go the spices. They're very simple for this recipe. Mix that all around. Put your noodles on top of the meat, and then 4 cups of beef broth directly on top of that. 3 tablespoons of butter on top. Close the lid, set to sealing, and it goes for only 4 minutes. Do a quick pressure release. Give everything a nice stir around. Half a cup of milk goes in, and then it's 4 cups of cheese, but do it about a half a cup at a time just to make sure it all gets incorporated and melts well. This recipe is basically like a chicken risotto. It came out so creamy and delicious. The first thing you're gonna do is all of your produce. So peel, and then you're gonna grate your carrots. Dice a medium onion. I diced mine pretty small for this, but again, you could use whatever you want to do for size on that. Cut up your chicken. I use chicken thighs, that's what the recipe called for, but you can use chicken tenders, chicken breasts, whatever kind of chicken you have on hand, just cut it into bite-sized cubes. Put the Instant Pot on saute, put about a tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Mix up your carrots and your onions real well, salt those, put in your chicken, and then mix that up real well with some more salt and pepper. In goes your rice and 4 cups of chicken stock. That was 2 cups of rice. The head of a garlic, cut it in half right across the cloves and put it face down into the liquid before you put the lid on. Do a quick pressure release. Fish the garlic out, and you can either leave the whole cloves in there, or I took mine out and I made a paste. I was very intrigued to learn you can do an entire meatloaf and mashed potatoes at the same time in an Instant Pot, so I had to try it. You're gonna peel your potatoes and cut them up into slightly big chunks, not too big. Dice up half an onion, very small. Then 2 pounds of ground beef. There's your onion. 2 eggs, already pre-mixed up. Half a cup of breadcrumbs. 3 cloves of garlic, salt and pepper. I did some steak seasoning for extra flavor. Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of that. A tablespoon of mustard and 4 tablespoons of ketchup. This is the important part to make this work right. You have to make the meatloaf into a flat, semi-flat circle that will fit inside of your Instant Pot, and you have to put it on foil that you're gonna make your makeshift pan out of. Make sure the sides of the foil pan you're creating are pretty high because that's gonna hold all of the fat in so it doesn't go down into your potatoes. Place your trivet on top of the potatoes in the water and then wiggle your pan down in there. Make sure it's up really good. Let it natural pressure release for 10 minutes. Be very careful when you're lifting this out so you don't get all of that grease everywhere. The first time I made this, my countertop was an absolute disaster because I didn't make the sides high enough. For the mashed potatoes, you're going to do 2 tablespoons of butter, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of sour cream, salt and pepper, but obviously change this up to however you like the texture and the flavor, and then just mash them up and you're good to go. Okay, and there you guys have it. 4 very easy kid-friendly dinners that you could do, 2 of which were done in right about a half an hour, including all of the pressure gain for the pot. And the other 2 were just right around an hour, maybe a little less. It depends on how fast your pot comes up to pressure. But I hope you guys enjoy these and your family enjoys them as well. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give this video a thumbs up and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.